Hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started with just a little bit of housekeeping while everybody is coming into the room. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Catherine, and I will be moderating today's Behavioral Health and AT workshop. For audio description purposes, I am a Chicanx woman in her 30s with tan skin, brown and green hair, and am wearing a teal blouse. So first off, if you'd like to access captions, go to the meeting controls on the bottom of your screen and select the CC icon titled Live Transcript, and you can click the option Show Subtitle to gain access to captioning. Alternatively, you can use the string text link that I have just dropped into the chat. And the string text link is great because you can change the font size, you can change your font color, make the captioning full screen, whatever you need. Please note that the chat is reserved for networking and interacting with one another, so have fun connecting, but any and all questions for our panelists would be entered in the Q&A located in the meeting controls at the bottom of your screen, or signaled with a raised hand, a function which is also located in the meeting controls at the bottom of your screen if this is the most accessible option. We are reserving the last 15 minutes of our workshop for Q&A, and we'll try our best to address everybody's questions with the time that we have. Thank you for sitting through my bit of housekeeping. And I'd like to now introduce you to this workshop's panelist, Maria Kelly. Maria Kelly is Washington Assistive Technology Act Program Senior AT Specialist. Today, she will guide us through a variety of assistive technology apps and devices that can positively contribute to the overall mental health of their users. And with that, I'll hand it over to you, Maria. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you. I'm Maria Kelly. Thank you for that introduction. And my audio description of myself is I am a middle-aged female with dark, somewhat graying hair. And I am of Italian and Filipina ancestry, but most people think that I look more Italian. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and share my screen and give you a little bit of introduction of what I'll be talking about today. So let me go ahead and do this. Does that look okay, Catherine?
That looks fantastic.
Great. So again, I want to say hello to everyone and take this opportunity to thank Catherine for inviting me to present at this conference and to be with you all today. My topic is an area that's in the past been slowly getting more attention in regards to mental health and assistive technology and more interest of it in pertaining to that over the years. But since the pandemic, it seems extremely relevant, even more so in our current day-to-day lives. So before I begin my presentation and dive in, I want to first say that I am not a mental health professional. My background is in occupational therapy. I'm a licensed occupational therapist here in the state of Washington. I work at the University of Washington. And as an OT, I have a professional as well as a personal interest in AT for individuals who are experiencing mental health and cognitive challenges. So that's one of the reasons why I've kind of been diving into doing these types of presentations and trainings. The information that I'm going to be sharing with you today is tools to help an individual with self-management and also some resources that can help an individual who is experiencing some mental health related issues as a result are oftentimes experiencing some functional decline in their day-to-day activities. So with that being said, I have a number of tools that I hope you find to be helpful at the conclusion of today's presentation. So the focus of my presentation today is managing social isolation and some tools and resources to help an individual who is experiencing some issues with anxiety and depression. Let's see if I can get this to turn. My goal for you guys today is pretty simple in that you can walk away from this session this afternoon and being able to identify some assistive technology tools that can help reduce the person's feeling of social isolation, especially in this world of the COVID-19 pandemic that we're experiencing. Yes, our country is opening up slowly, but there are still some individuals as a result of, for various reasons, still feeling extremely socially isolated. And being able to identify at least 3 solutions in the assistive technology realm that can help a person better manage their anxiety and their depression. I promise not to inundate you too much with some statistics, but I think it's important to get a general idea of what we're talking about here in regards to how much these issues of anxiety, social isolation, and depression are actually impacting us here in the United States. So in this slide, there's an image of statistics covering people reporting feeling lonely. About 43% of seniors are reporting feeling some sort of social isolation and feeling of loneliness. The significant thing that I want you to pick out from this particular slide is that when it's individuals who are experiencing feelings of social isolation and loneliness, it puts them at a greater risk for developing other health-related issues. And again, I'm not an expert in this field. I'm sort of a generalist. So I've given you on the bottom of this slide the reference that I used in finding this information. So just bear in mind that the reason that this is an important thing for us to keep our fingers on and keeping tabs of is that mental health issues, if not addressed appropriately for the individual, is going to impact all areas of their life and can lead to other health-related complications. So this slide is just basically kind of restating what I've just said, that the health effects of social isolation and loneliness. There is some research out there that supports that there is significant mental health and physical issues, such as cognitive changes to our cardiovascular system. If we are not being treated correctly and appropriately for our feelings in regards to anxiety and depression. I provided you with a source as well for this particular topic here. Yeah, I found a really good article in Aging Life Care Journal, and so that reference is on the bottom of the slide. Another statistic to just keep in mind, obviously you're not going to memorize these and you do have a copy of the slides, is that in the United States, and this information is from NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and they are extremely good resource for anything related to mental health and behavioral health. In the United States, depression is a big issue. There's more than 17 million US adults, as you can see here on the slide, that are reporting some depressive related condition. And that's just adults. And so there's a whole nother gamut that isn't being addressed here. There are other studies that are identifying kids also. And this is data prior to the pandemic. So I'm sure that there are more studies that are being done post-pandemic, and I can only expect that these numbers to go up. In regards to anxiety disorders, they are actually being identified as the most common reported mental health related issue in the United States. Over 40 million adults in the United States have reported some sort of anxiety disorder. And they do highlight some data pertaining to kids between the ages of 3 and 17 who are experiencing issues related to anxiety. And this number, I'm sure, has certainly gone up due to the fact how isolated students have been over the course of almost 2 years as a result of the pandemic. In regards to the topic that I'm here to talk to you about today, mental health and the use and implementation of assistive technology tools, there really isn't and hasn't been a lot of information about the use of assistive technology for people with behavioral health issues, but there is a lot of research out there on how assistive technology can be of benefit for individuals who have some cognitive delay or cognitive challenges and disabilities. For example, they might have issues with focusing, issues with sleep. And so we can apply that information that we know that assistive technology can be useful for those individuals experiencing some cognitive issues, and apply that to individuals who are having some behavioral health issues. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as I go through the assistive technology. The one thing that I do want to emphasize here in this slide, and there's an image of words that form like a light bulb, is that assistive technology can only be effective when the other symptoms that the individual is having in relationship to their mental illness or their behavioral health issues are stable, meaning you can get stability through medication management, or they're meeting with a therapist, a mental health therapist for counseling, or it might be a combination of those treatments. And once the individual is actually then stable, then we can implement these assistive technology tools. If we try to implement the assistive technology tools prior to the individual feeling stable and grounded and centered, these tools are going to fail. And that's a detriment to the individual that we're trying to help. As I've been doing some research and preparing for the presentation, this presentation in the past, there's been a lot of readings and internet and research that's being done on the effectiveness of using mindfulness tools to help individuals with their behavioral health issues. On the bottom of this slide, I've highlighted the source of the positivepsychology.com. And in this article that I referenced, the author was talking about how a lot of people are very familiar with cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT as they refer to it, and then the concept of mindfulness. So mindfulness and CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, when they put those two together, it creates what this new approach in behavioral health is called mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, or MBCT. So with CBT approach, they're trying to help the individual who's having a behavioral health issue change distorted and harmful behaviors and thoughts. And through mindfulness, they're trying to use meditation, breathing techniques, feelings, processing their thoughts to help reduce anxiety for that individual. So the combination of these two, the mindfulness based cognitive therapy, is really designed to be used for individuals who are having anxiety and depression. And there's a number of applications that I'll be showcasing this afternoon that kind of use this approach in the app development. So the technologies that I'll be reviewing with you today, as I mentioned, some applications. On this slide, it's highlighting that there's soothers and comforters to help individuals who perhaps might be dealing with generalized anxiety. There's tools that can help with distracting the individual if they are having issues with behavioral outbursts. Reminders and schedulers can be of advantage to individuals who are having some memory challenges. Mood trackers and screeners that can provide some sort of good therapeutic outcomes in helping the person track their mood so that they can report that to their mental health provider. And lastly, there's also technology and tools that are out there that can help monitor our clients or the individual that we're working with in the event that we're concerned for their safety. So as an example, those are kind of like geo-tracking fences, applications that we can monitor the location of the individual as they're going through their day to make sure that they're staying in a safe area. So the first category of technology tools that I want to focus on and show you some examples is in regards to just calming. What you see on the slide here is a picture, two pictures actually. The one on the bottom right corner is a person wearing the Muse, that's M-U-S-E headbands, brain sensing headband. The top is just a screenshot of what it would look like without somebody having it on their forehead. So this headband, when the person wears it across their forehead and behind their ears, it picks up EEG, which is brainwave activity, and it's sensing based on what it's feeling around your forehead. In the front of your head is how the tension, and that then sends the information to the companion app that it works with. And so it's kind of like a biofeedback system, and that when a person is more stressed out, the audio track of a loud storm, they'll be able to hear that through the earbuds that are connected to the Muse headband. And then once they're able to calm themselves down, changes in the weather pattern and the weather sound is going to be more calming and much more quiet. So we've had some success with some individuals borrowing this from our lending library and have had good outcomes in being able to manage some of their anxiety and their stress using this particular tool. And it retails anywhere between $250 and $300. Other options to consider for individuals who have anxiety is compression clothing. This is a company called Calmwear, and there's two images on the screen. A female wearing a black long sleeve Calmwear undershirt, and then the bottom image, the other image is three individuals, two males and one female wearing white sleeveless compression under garments from Calmwear. So this compression, the theory behind compression clothing is that there are some individuals who are anxious when they have like a hug or wear compression clothing. It desensitizes their sensory system and gives them more of a calming state. So this company kind of spun off on the idea of, I know there are some of us who have pets who they wear what they call a thunder vest, and when it's thundering out or during fireworks on the 4th of July, that owners will put that on their dog to help keep them calm. So it's kind of the same concept. So this, I provide you with the website link for this particular company, and the shirts retail from anywhere between $120 to $150 for a pack of 3. And they do come in both adult and children's sizes. Also in doing my research on this topic, another thing from the past, from our childhood, has kind of come back to the forefront, and that's coloring. So there are some research articles, and the one that I've highlighted on this slide is the resources on the bottom of this slide. And the title of the book that is highlighted is "When Did Coloring Books Become Mindful? Exploring the Effectiveness of a Novel Method of Mindfulness Guided Instructions for Coloring Books." So there is some research out there that supports that going back to a task that's creative, that keeps us away from the negative thinking, and being more mindful and present with the current activity of coloring, for example, can have great benefit in reducing a person's anxiety and getting them to focus on here and now. Moving on to some apps, I'm going to showcase some applications for mood and emotion management. The challenge that I have oftentimes as a practitioner looking for applications, regardless of whether or not they're for behavioral health or for other issues, perhaps, for example, like learning disability apps, is the vetting process. Is this app really good? Can you fully rely on what you're just reading in the Google Play Store or in the App Store? And it's kind of a hit and miss. So I found it to be very refreshing when I came across the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, otherwise known as ADAA. Here I took a screenshot of they have a mental health app guide, And there's 5 areas that they look at: the ease of use, how effective the app is, whether or not it can be personalized, whether or not it's interactive and provides feedback, and also if there's research evidence to support the application. And each of those 5 categories have various questions. So just for example, and for short on time, the ease of use question. So how was it to use this app? And you're going to give a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being very difficult to 5 being very easy. So I think that is really helpful, especially for individuals who are kind of feeling a little overwhelmed in the application market and trying to figure out which ones they should try, which ones they should buy, and being able to go to a website that has good credibility, I think can be an advantageous tool. The other one is CyberGuide. It's PSYBER Guide, GUIDE. This is a nonprofit project that is funded by another one, a company or an organization called OneMind, and OneMind is a nonprofit organization, and all they do is study brain health research. And so this project with CyberGuide and OneMind, what they do is similar to the previous slide I was just discussing, is getting information about an application in regards to user experience, how transparency and how private the application is, and whether or not it has credibility. So I took a screenshot of one of the apps I'm going to talk here in a second. It's an AI, so artificial intelligence bot. So it's called Wysa, W-Y-S-A. And the screenshot here shows you what the app would look like. Some of the features are discussed, what the app should do or what it can do is described for the end user or the person who's researching the app. And then it gives you whether or not there's 4 yellow boxes, one of which is the credibility score, and it's out of 5. This one has a credibility score of 4 out of 5. It has the score of user experience of 4.54. Is it transparent? Yes, it says it's acceptable. And then under professional review, there hasn't been a professional review done yet. So again, this can be a helpful tool in helping you or helping us in the field of behavioral health be able to be a little bit more educated on app selection for our clients. So here's Wysa. And so I just took I'm just showing you 2 screenshots of what Wysa would look like if you had it loaded on a tablet or iOS phone or your Android phone. So this is an AI therapy chatbot. So it's completely free for the basic, there's a free version, let me restate that, for iOS and Android. They claim that the conversations are secure. So basically, the artificial intelligence asks you, as you can see in the screenshot, how was your day? And then based on how the end user answers that, the bot's going to ask more questions. And in the event that somebody asks or answers a question, you know, that they might be a suicide risk, or they're really, the AI bot then makes a determination whether or not the person could benefit from speaking to a live therapist and gives them recommendations. They actually have therapists that work with them, and they can give them they'll refer the individual answering the questions to that option. There is a premium and premium plus version, which requires a lot more money, which if you do the premium plus, it provides you with a mental health coach and other more sophisticated tools, according to the description of Wysa. The other well-vetted app is called Headspace, available on iOS and Android. There's 4 screenshots here on this particular slide. I'm just showing that actually this app was awarded one of the top awards in the Apple Store back in 2018. And it teaches individuals to one area of it on how to meditate and be more mindful. The third screenshot on here is there's a section or a feature built into the application to help with falling asleep faster and giving recommendations and suggestions on how to have better sleep health. And the fourth screenshot here is just showing a screenshot of all the features built into the application. So this is a very full featured application, Headspace, but it's a monthly subscription based app that there's a free version, but it has very few and limited support for meditation and mindfulness exercises. The next slide here is called Centered. It's on iOS, so only for your iPhone. It's only available on the iPhone and it's completely free. I actually have this one on my phone. This was developed by a collaboration of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois and the University of Massachusetts School of Medicine. And this provides the person who's launching this app opportunities for self-guided meditation. There's even a section for midi meditation. So maybe, kind of stressed out and I need to do something really fast within a minute or two to kind of calm myself. So they have those sorts of exercises built into the application. There's even meditation exercises that I can do and launch like when I'm going for my walk. It also, the other feature that I like is that it gives me reminders and suggestions based on open times on my calendar of when I have opportunity to do like a short meditation. So I found that to be a helpful tool. This next application is called MindShift CBT. So remember, CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy. So this particular application, which is free for iOS and Android platforms, is designed to help the person kind of reorient their thinking. So there's the images I have on this slide is one screenshot is my anxiety check-in. So it's asking you how you're feeling on a particular day. And based on your answers, it's going to give you some feedback on how to adjust your thinking and then some guided meditation exercises that you can do. Another app that has been stable and somewhat that has been vetted is Mood Tools. This is free for iOS and Android platform. This has some videos, as you can, there's a screenshot here of helpful videos that they can watch. So for example, just to give you an audio description here of that, you can do an audio, watch and listen to a video about stress relief, anxiety relief, muscle relaxation, and whatnot. This app also has, you see a screenshot there that you can take a depression assessment questionnaire, and based on how the person answers, it's going to give some suggestions. Perhaps it might be you should meet with your mental health provider. And that is somewhat unique to this particular application. And it also allows for, it also has a daily diary. So keeping track of how you feel on a particular day and being able to save that. And the advantage of that is that you can see, perhaps see a pattern and be able to share that with your mental health provider. MoodKit is another application that but this one's only for iOS. So another mood tracking kit. Another feature built into it is tracking your moods, similar to the previous application, giving it a rating, being able to save it and share it with your healthcare practitioner, mental health practitioner. You're able, the thing that makes this different from the previous one is there's a little bit, another layer of security. You can actually create a PIN code for it or activate facial ID. So you have another level of safety net or security net in the event that you want to keep your mental health information more private. I believe this is the last one, but What's Up, not WhatsApp, but What's Up. This is free, iOS and Android, and you'll see our theme here. It's again based on CBT therapy. So this again, diary, keeping track of your thoughts, being able, and there's a scale of 1 to 10, I believe, on this particular app. The person can monitor how they're feeling on a day-to-day basis. This one also has a feature where a person can keep track of their positive and negative habits and be able to set more healthy goals for themselves. And the other thing that this app is unique from the previous ones that I've talked, this has actual live forum. So sort of what we call a social network outlet, so that it lets the individual who's using this app talk with other people who might be feeling similar to them and having similar experience. So there is that social network support built into the application. I fibbed, that was not the last one. Sam's been around for a while. This is self-help for anxiety management. You'll notice the theme here, as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, that these are self-management tools. So they're only going to be as good as the person entering the information and utilizing and launching the app. So if the person doesn't use it, the tools are kind of dead in the water. And so it's really helpful to tell our clients that, giving us some options. You might want to try this app for a few days and try this app, especially for the ones that are free, and seeing if the features built into them are the features that they need in managing their depression and or anxiety. With Sam, a screenshot here are 2 of them. One is showing the different features built into Sam, how to use it, how to get help for your anxiety, rating your anxiety. There's an anxiety toolkit built into there, an anxiety tracker. So this is one specifically for, if you haven't already picked up, on people who are more on the generalized anxiety spectrum. And then the other screenshot is, it's a sliding scale showing you how to rate your anxiety as opposed to 1 through 5, and you're just sliding it on the feelings of anxiety and tension from low to high, your worrying thoughts, things that you're avoiding because you're fearful or anxious. And so then you can save that again. So again, you'll see a recurring theme, that being able to record how a person is feeling on a particular day, being able to save it, are features that are common in many of these mental health apps. Uplift. This one's 14, it's a subscription that's about 15 bucks a month for a quarterly subscription. Again, another one that CBT kind of focus. There's a chat bot on there, so another AI kind of driven application. I put this on here because the one thing I have on this slide that's highlighted in bold, it's trigger plan. So like with the other ones, it has a mood journal. There's ways to manage your mood. It gives you suggestions, but this one actually has a trigger plan. So meaning, my anxiety might escalate whenever I have to meet with my boss. And so when within this app, that trigger plan allows you to come up with some strategies in the event that that your trigger is coming up. And so these are the things I can do to try to minimize my anxiety. All right, so that was a lot of apps. So moving on to sleep. Why do we talk about sleep? Sleep is important because, as you know, we all have personal experience with this, is if we did not have a good night's sleep, we can't think as effectively. We have a much more difficult time managing our emotions. You can ask my kids that. They can tell that when I'm tired, I tend to, have a lot less patience with them than when I'm more rested. So when we're talking about sleep, there's obviously if a person is having significant issues with insomnia, it's advisable that they work with their healthcare provider to come up with a plan and some solutions that can help them with that. But in regards to the assistive technology world, there's some other options that you can also utilize in addition to after meeting with your physician. These are the three things that you see on the slide. There's three products. The one on the left and in the middle, the Lectrofan and the Dream Egg are both what we call white noise sound machines. So they're dedicated devices. They're not terribly expensive. They run, I've seen them for about 45, 50 bucks in Amazon. And you plug them in and you can create, with the one that's Lectrofan, you have two options. You can just have a white noise where it's kind of like static noise, or a sound of a fan. The Dream Egg, which retails for about 30 bucks, actually, I believe might have another option, a couple of different options in regards to sounds. And it also has automatic timers for like, if you wanted it to turn off after 30 minutes versus 60 minutes versus 90 minutes. So those are what we call white noise machines. The last product I have on this slide is the Bose this is a tongue twister, Bose noise masking sleep buds. And they're designed specifically for sleeping and drowning out any background noise or noises in your room to help with getting you in a more restful state of mind to fall asleep. There are other wearables that are also available on the market. Wearable technology is on the rise. This one on the slide that you see here is an image of a woman wearing it on her wrist. This particular wearable can be worn on the wrist or the ankle. So what this does, this was actually developed by, I believe, a psychiatrist, and it provides tactile impulses like every 15 minutes, and you can program it to shut off automatically. And so what it's doing is the technology that this is based on, or the research this is based on, is what they call brainwave entertainment, as I highlight here on the slide. And it's providing this external stimulus through the vibrations is supposed to help quiet the mind and be able to get the individual who's using this to a more calm state. And if I fail to tell you this, it retails for about $150. The other thing that's gotten some more interest and use are weighted blankets. So I have a screenshot of different colored weighted blankets. This, similar to the compression clothing, this provides deep pressure to help reduce anxiety for the person using it. So there's some guidelines on how heavy of a blanket a person should be using based on their body weight, and I provided you with that resource link on the bottom of this slide. So just real quickly, it's saying that adults can use medium to large weighted blankets that range anywhere between 12 to 30 pounds. And for children between 20 to 70 pounds, a small weighted blanket should weigh from 3 to 8 pounds. So again, a lot of this is anecdotal. So for example, my 15-year-old kid who has issues with anxiety at times tried the weighted blanket, didn't really care for it, but then I've heard through other parents who have used it with their kids and their kids liked it. So it really depends on the end user. There's also other products that are marketed to individuals who are having a hard time with sleeping. This one on the slide is a picture of the Philips Smart Sleep Light. So this has a sensor that monitors your room temperature, the noise in your room, and the lighting, and it works with a companion app on your smartphone. You can personalize alarms of when you want to wake up and what happens when you wake up, and based on the settings that you set it to, the light intensifies to wake you up. So it's not like a jolt to wake up, but gradually gets brighter, as well as you can program the sounds. So there's a standard one for version of this for about $180, and the one that's works with the smartphone application is $220. There's also a number of applications that you can run off your smartphone. The one I'm highlighting here is called Aura, A-U-R-A. It's geared for sleep and mindfulness. It's free for both iOS and Android platform. So this is also driven by artificial intelligence, and you can have there's pre-programmed tracks for up to 3, 7, and 10-minute meditation sessions. It has relaxing music and stories that are built into it. Some of the music tracks are looped, so it just keeps playing unless you put a timer on it. And it makes suggestions on music tracks that you should listen to based on how you're reporting your mood to be at the current time. And those of you who have Apple devices, I can't remember, about a year or so ago, Apple Bedtime is now available in your settings. And this is a screenshot of what it looks like. It's a dark screen with a half orange circle on it, which tells me what time I'm going to bed and what time I'm going to get up. So I'm going to go to bed at 11 and I'm going to get up at 6. So the nice thing about this, and I've used this a couple of times, I can select the days of the week that I want my alarm to go off. If I only want it to go off during the weekdays when I'm working, and have it off on the weekends. If I want to be sure to get my 8 hours of sleep, I can enter that into this built-in application on my phone and say I want 8 hours of sleep. So it's suggesting what time I should be in. If I'm going to go to bed at 11, if I'm going to go to bed at 11, then this is what time I'm going to get up in order for me to get my 8 hours of sleep. So I can make those adjustments accordingly. This app, I actually have seen this particular application a lot of times on the television being advertised. It's called Calm. This is an extremely full-featured application. Lots of options built into it. And gosh, I thought I had how much it costs, but it's it's a subscription-based application, if I remember correctly, and I can't remember how much it costs. But it has multiple, like hundreds and hundreds of what they call sleep stories built into it. There's 7 to 21 day programs that you can actually launch. So if you wanted to work on your sleeping skills for like a week, it has those programs built into it. And lots of different types of music options and musical tracks that you can listen to help calm your mind and help you fall asleep. White noises can also be of benefit. This particular application is called TM Soft White Noise. This is free for your iOS and Android platform devices, but there's also a web-based version. So this has a number of different things that they call soundscapes to help calm your mind and block out your distractions. The sounds that are built into this application are looped. So a lot of them, as you see here on this slide, are examples of white noise, like birds chirping, a ticking clock, rain falling, ocean waves, that just keep looping until you get to yourself to a common state of mind. I'm going to jump and change gears to social and get through my slides here. Resources for caregivers, when, especially in the throes of the pandemic, when all of us were really limited of leaving our house, A lot of individuals felt really isolated when they had to take care of caregivers. I found two good resources online for caregiver support. The first one is agingcare.com. This is an online community of caregivers that has a forum where individuals can get advice and support from other caregivers around the United States. The other one I've referenced here is called wellspouse.org. So for spouses who are caregivers and feel a little inundated and stressed out and are looking for support groups, this is another good option to investigate further if you're looking for that kind of social support. For individuals who are wanting to build some community support as a result of just feeling a little inundated with the COVID response here, this website is called stitch.net. And it's an international, so this is not just the United States, but an international online community for individuals who are 50 years or older. They tout themselves as not being just a dating app. There's a free membership version of it. It seems very inexpensive for this online option. You can sign up for $5 per month. You can have full access to stitch.net. So it can be somebody that you're wanting to date. It could be something just for hobbies, meeting people who have similar interests as you. So it's very expansive and very diverse. If you're looking for structuring your time and you want to learn a new skill, Skillshare is an online class learning opportunity. So there's almost 20,000 classes that you can sign up for. This is also subscription based. So you can, their website says you can try it out for 1 month for free. And after that, it's $15 a month or about $100 a year. For those of us animal lovers, but maybe we live in an apartment or our living situation prevents us from being able to have an animal, there's a lot of interest in robotic support animals. The one that you see on the left-hand side picture is called Tombot. He is a little golden retriever pup, and he has a bunch of touch sensors throughout his body. And when you touch those sensors, it activates his little puppy voice and makes his body move in certain ways that a dog would move, a real dog would move because of the way we're petting them. The one on the right-hand side is the cat version. It's called a company called Joy for All Companion Pets has developed also some robotic dogs. Tombot retails for about $400. The cat, the Joy for All Companion Pets, retail for about $110. So this could be a good alternative. There's been some good research and articles on the benefits of using robotic animals, especially for individuals with dementia. And then there's obviously some more expensive options, like this is EliQ, which is a desktop robot. It's an assistant, AI assistant, so it allows you to interact with it using your voice. You can make video calls and message individuals that are in your contacts list on there. You can play games with it. You can use it as a way to help you with remembering your appointments. So it gives you that option as well for reminders. The other thing that was really popular, especially during the heat of the pandemic, is the virtual games and entertainment. The app that I'm highlighting here is called Bunch. It's free for iOS and Android. This provides the individuals that you want to play online games with all have to have the Bunch app loaded on their device. So it allows you to play and chat with games with friends and family at the same time. So if we can't do it in live face-to-face, then we can do it virtually. Netflix used to have an app called Netflix Party. and I have a picture that's crossed out, and they replaced it with the other, with a new option called Tele Party, which I have a screenshot of what it looks like there. It's free for Google Chrome browser extension. So it allows you to do the same thing what Netflix Party did. You can watch a TV show or a movie at the same time with somebody here in Seattle, and maybe I want to watch it with a friend of mine in Chicago and we're watching it at the same time. So that's still available. It's just a different name. And other things to consider for those individuals that we're working with who feel lonely and isolated is there's a number of online book clubs. If they enjoy reading, a lot of these book clubs are free. So the ones I've highlighted here are, there's a book club called Action Book Club, the Andrew Luck Book Club for those of you who are into football. That is Andrew Luck, he used to be the quarterback for Indiana. And famous people that you see here on the side. So Oprah obviously has a book club, but Reese Witherspoon also started a book club a couple of years ago. So you can get more information on online book clubs through goodreads.com, and they list all of the free book clubs that you can join if you so choose. For health and entertainment, I found a couple of free resources. The one that I have a screenshot of down on the left corner of the slide, it's called HasFit, HASFIT. HasFit is actually a YouTube station, and it provides or offers a variety of different exercise workouts for diverse, what I really like about it is diverse groups. So people with physical disabilities, limited mobility, they have exercises for individuals who are seniors. So I was happy I stumbled upon that. So that is a completely free YouTube station. The other options are the YMCA has an online health and fitness program where individuals can access their videos of different exercises for all age groups. And then Senior Exercises Online is also, this provides free online exercise videos for targeting the aging population. Obviously, telehealth, I think all of us have experienced a lot of telehealth visits during this pandemic, and that has just grown exponentially, and it has its benefits, being able to continue to reach and provide access to individuals who live in more rural areas or have transportation issues, or because of the pandemic, still unable to see their healthcare provider face to face. And this hasn't just been limited to medical doctors, but also to mental health professionals, social workers, and psychologists to be able to see their patients. And speaking of mental health therapy, there's two big companies that provide online mental health therapy. If people are looking for that, one of them is called Talkspace, and they offer a free assessment so that the person can be matched with the appropriate therapist that can help them. And I believe some insurances are starting to cover this, so that is something that a person needs to research further. The other competing company to this is called BetterHelp. So it functions in the same way, where they have to fill out an online questionnaire so that they can be matched appropriately with the therapist. And then on the fun side, because many of us have been limited in our travel, there's our national parks also have virtual tours that if we have a computer or a smartphone or a tablet, we can actually visit these parks without leaving our home if we choose to do so. Through the Google, their arts and culture section, in which I provide you this link, you can actually select, for example, Bryce Canyon in Utah, or go and tour the volcanoes of Hawaii by clicking on that website link and looking at doing a tour from the safe confines of your home. There's also art museums have set up virtual tours also. This is also available in the arts and culture section of Google. So I can visit the Guggenheim, the Van Gogh in Amsterdam, and the Getty Museum in New York without leaving my home. So just know that those are other options that we can steer people to that we work with who might be interested in the arts. The music and theater performances, there's an organization called All Arts, allarts.org, and this provides free access to their collection of multimedia short films, showcases different types of artwork, music and dance, free for anybody who wants to consume this on their computer or on their tablets. So this is, I've watched a couple of these and they're very well done. And this is a nonprofit organization that provides this access. And then there's a multitude of different types of applications. I threw this one called OTR, Streamer Old Time Radio. So for some of our clients who enjoy listening to stories from the day when radios were being used for primarily, we didn't have TVs. So listening to old episodes from like Jack Benny, these things are available on this particular app that I'm showcasing here. Also, some of the zoos throughout the United States have live cams. I know that Seattle Zoo has one. I'm showcasing the Monterey Aquarium here. They have a live cam, as well as the other one that I'm showcasing is a picture of I believe an orangutan. That's the San Diego Zoo, where you click on the links that I have on this slide and it will take you directly to their live cams to be able to watch their zoo. The other things to consider to just for our clients who are socially isolated is using virtual reality. The ones I've highlighted here is called MyVR, so that's MYNDVR. This and Rendezvous are the kind of the leaders in virtual reality, especially for the aging population. They have special programs for group homes and I believe assisted living facilities where they can buy them in bulk and allow them to use that with their residents or their clients in those facilities. So it gives them an opportunity to expand their environment without actually leaving their environment and keeping them safe. The last resource I have for you is called LibriVox. I always pronounce that wrong. This is a non-profit and it's a public domain, so it's ad-free. It's not glitzy. You're not going to, which is kind of refreshing. No pop-ups. This is an audio location where you can find audiobooks. So there are volunteers that read the books. You can actually choose to be a volunteer to read books. There's a number of different languages available. So if we're working with clients where English is not their first language, and when I was looking at this, the languages available was a really big variety. So that was very impressive. So that's another option for our individuals who enjoy reading and being able to access this free resource. Okay. And speaking of resource, because I'm winding down here, these are the ones I'm highlighting today. I've talked about all of them throughout my presentation this afternoon. The Anxiety and Depression Association of America, I provided you with their URL, their website, the National Alliance on Mental Health, on mental illness. NAMI is another wonderful resource. And again, One Mind and Cyber Guide if you're wanting to get more information on how a particular app is, if it's well vetted. Okay. As I wrap up, I love this quote. It says it's okay to fall apart sometimes. Tacos fall apart, but we still love them. I think people there's more conversations about mental health and people are sharing their stories a little bit more openly. And I think we're slowly overcoming the stigma. Obviously, there's still a stigma about mental health and behavioral health issues that people are experiencing. But no, we do know that there are opportunities that people can reach out to and get support, and there are tools that they can utilize to hopefully help them manage their day-to-day activities as they're dealing with these mental health barriers. And with that being said, I hope you found this information to be helpful and that you can utilize the resources and the tools that I shared with you today. And bear in mind that with applications, sometimes I have an application that I really love, and then it's no longer supported on a particular operating device. So just before you start suggesting applications to a particular person, make sure that it's still up and running and works efficiently for them. And I think that's it. I just want to again thank you all for the opportunity to talk with you today, and thank you for joining my session. And this is all of my contact information here at the University of Washington. If you have any questions about my slides or some of the resources and information that I presented today. So thank you.
Thank you, Maria. That was fantastic. You're getting a lot of praise in the comments section. And yeah, it's going quick. Everybody's really enjoying your resources.
Do you want me to keep sharing my screen? Or
yeah, definitely keep sharing your screen. If you want, okay, we can toss your whatever contact information you prefer. The Washington Assistive Technology Program, I'm assuming, would be the best email. I can throw that in.
Yeah, so the best WATAP, WATAP at uw.edu, and then yeah, that's our general email address, and then they know how to find me. Are there any questions anybody has?
So far, just a lot of praise, not a ton of questions. I do have one that sounds like it's just a joke question, wondering if you could recommend any dating sites for people under 50.
Or below 50?
Yeah.
No. I think there's so many of them now.
So how have you been having any difficulty getting services to people in a virtual environment, like in providing these behavioral health technologies to people?
Here in Washington, it's kind of because a lot of these are still self-management, are geared around self-management tools. It's not too difficult right now to be able to do that virtually, and guiding them through that. So it's been okay. I mean, it's still better to do it in person, but as you know, we're all kind of limited to that still.
Someone is wondering if the Calmware would accept insurance, that it's somewhat pricey for our clients.
Yeah. My response to that is, with any assistive technology tool or device, it's been my experience, unless it can be found to be medically necessary, that insurance companies aren't going to pay for it. So if it's you could try it, but if it's, maybe if a physician prescribes it, it might be, but I'm kind of skeptical that it's going to be. I mean, sometimes we even have a hard time with insurance companies covering, well, they don't cover a lot of computer access equipment. Usually they have the most success in getting it covered for like mobility tools like wheelchairs and walkers and communication devices.
Which is unfortunate. I mean, that kind of rings to the whole experience of what we're doing here today is, mental health services deserve as much recognition as any other health need.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, there's lots of technology that can, even outside the realm of behavioral health, that it would really help with the person's independence, and it's not covered. Yeah. Sometimes we find that, and I'm not an insurance expert, but sometimes our veterans, the VA is a little bit more, what's the word? I don't want it, for lack of a better, more lenient in getting some of the technology covered through the VA than traditional insurances.
So that might be a good option for any veterans out there,
Mhm.
to that if they can go down to their VA office and see if they can make a case for the devices.
Yeah, I don't think it could hurt. Right.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat. So, if everybody is good and has all the information that they'd like, then we can go ahead. Oh, and things are popping up, but we can go ahead and close up our workshop for today. Thank you so much, Maria, for coming
You're
and
welcome. Thanks
sharing
for
with
having
us.
me.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
All right. Thank you.